Hi guys, I'm Dimension Jumper and today I'll be reviewing Super Mario 3D World, which was released in 2013 for the Nintendo Wii and it was made by Nintendo. Now, this game is it's a decent enough game, but it's not like a Mario Galaxy game or an Odyssey game, but it's a decent game that I think at the time was playable. You can play because you can play in this game. You can play with friends or by yourself, depending on how many controllers you have for the Wii U. And the main story of this game is that Mario, Luigi, Blue Toad, and Peach basically receive all these different fairy princess people. It's not really explained that much. There's not really much dialogue in the cutscene in which we're first introduced, and basically about the kid enters the mall and has put them into different castles, and it's basically like any other Mario game, but not the Mushroom Kingdom this time. So yeah, that's basically the main story. So basically, you trying to find and save all of these different princesses, fairy things. And defeat Bowser. Yeah, that's basically the main thing. But one of the main focuses within this game, as you can clearly see on the box, is the cat costume things, and that's because that's one of the new power-ups you can get in this game, and the item or power-up you can get that's new is the Cat Bell or the Super Bell. I think it's one of those titles, and basically what it does, it gives you the ability to turn into a cat, so you can scratch and also climb up walls for some reason. I don't know why that's a thing. Maybe it's from maybe it's because it's shown in some movies or something. I'm not 100% sure why they can climb up walls, but it's quite a cool ability. So the characters that you can play as is Mario, Luigi, Blue Toad, and Peach. And now Peach, this is probably one of the only games that allows to have Peach as a character. The only other one is probably Super Mario Bros. 2, like way back in the day. And I think it's kind of a breath of fresh air, breath of fresh air, to have Peach as a playable character, because the only times you do play as her is in some of the Mario spin-offs. So I do think it's a good idea to have Peach be a playable character and not just have her kidnapped as she's always been doing in previous Mario games. Now each character has their own abilities. So Mario is obviously Mario. He's basically the all-rounder. He's Mario, for God's sake. He's basically well known. There's also Luigi. He basically jumps higher than Mario, so that's kind of good for certain parts of levels, and I think that's quite cool. Toad kind of speeds up a bit, but not a lot. It's kind of noticeable, but it's not really that noticeable. I think is if you're looking hard enough, you can see that Toad is actually running slightly faster than all of the other characters. And Peach, she can glide through the air for a certain amount of time. And I think all these abilities suit the characters quite well because of their backgrounds and such stuff. And the levels themselves are quite enjoyable. None of them feel the same, even though there are a couple of certain levels that are slightly the same-ish. Like, it's not that much, but it's just a tiny bit similar, but not a lot. The power-ups, not the items, range from traditional power-ups like the Fire Flower, the superstar, the mega mushroom. Even though that power up is only used in one level, even though I kind of wished it was used in more levels, but yeah. And the new power ups in this game, as I said before, the Super Bell, which allows you to turn into a cat, the Double Cherry, which basically is probably one of the most overpowered power ups in this game because it allows you to become or make you have a clone of yourself, and I think that's quite cool because there are some levels with this power up in it, and you do need to go on certain platforms with certain amount of clones. And within each level, there are green stars. Now, there are 3 in each level, but there is also, like in Super Mario 3D Land, mystery boxes, which there's like a certain amount of levels to collect certain green stars, so you can get to the castle and unlock it. Because with each castle, you do need a certain amount of green stars to unlock that castle and basically move on to the next world. And now it's time to go and look at the gameplay of this game. Now the game itself is quite enjoyable. It's basically like, you know, every Mario game. You got, like, you know, your ground pounds, your normal stomp attacks, those sorts of things. And yeah, I really like the levels a lot, quite a bit, because they're like, you know, they're enjoyable place to go through. And yeah, and the cat ability is quite OP, a bit-ish. It's like not a lot, because like with the whole wall ability thing, you can climb walls for like a couple of seconds, and you can basically use it to basically skip huge parts of the level. And yeah, and each one has each like Mario character can use the Bell ability, can basically use like different colours. Now for World Crown Champion Road, I suggest getting like 999 lives. As you can see here, even though I don't have, like, you know, max lives, you should get a lot of lives for this level, mainly because of how difficult it is. Just because of how difficult it is, and it's just one of those like levels in the game that you should try and, like, you know, prepare yourself for before you face off before you face off the level. Also, I think I forgot to mention this, but there are also some Captain Toad levels, and I think these were quite good because, like, these kinds of levels, which I'll show you, even got their own spin-off game, like, which is called Captain Toad. So, like, basically in these levels, you basically have to find, like, you know, stamps and like basically 3 green stars, which I've already collected in this one, or like, well, they're basically multiple green stars, while facing in basically different like ways. Okay, I can't see where I'm going. Okay. So yeah, to make sure you don't you don't get hit by any of the lavas or the piranha plant. Yeah, and the thing is, like, I think the Toad levels are quite nice. Like, you know, they're quite short. They're not too difficult to do, and I just died because I was too slow. So yeah, you know, and for the Macamo, you can basically use, you know, the right trigger, which is here, or just move the Wii U tablet, which is quite nice, and is quite helpful as well. So yeah, that's been the gameplay for Mario 3D World, and now it's time to go back to the review. So this game is quite enjoyable. There are like some elements in this game that I quite like, For example, in some of the levels, some of the pipes are like clear pipes. What are pipes? I don't know. But pipes, and I think that's a kind of a cool thing because like very kind of pipes we've seen are basically the green pipes, and I think the clear pipes are a good addition to use in this game because you can basically see like when you can turn to like collect coins or go into basically go into them and see the cutscene, which is quite nice, especially in the final level, like in the final level. So yeah, and once you have beaten the game, so once you have beaten Bowser and saved like all the fairy princesses characters, you do unlock some bonus levels. Now, the bonus levels are quite enjoyable, mainly because in one of the early bonus levels, you can unlock Rosalina. Now, Rosalina's ability is that she has the spin attack. Now, I think this is probably the most useful ability within the game because like Princess Peach's ability, because with Peach's ability she can float, and they can like save you from danger or whatever. With Rosalina's ability, you can basically get like a few extra seconds of air time or safety stuff or whatever. But to basically get from one platform to the next platform, I think Rosalina's spin attack is a quite good one. And the rest of the bonus levels are quite enjoyable, but even if you want to progress, you will have to do certain requirements. So, for example, you have to collect all the green stars in like all the previous levels. You have to touch the top of every single flagpole, and even collecting every single stamp that's in the game, because within each level there's one stamp, and it is probably one of the hardest things to do, because let's say you've been playing through the game normally and you've only collected like quite a number of stars and probably a couple of stamps, but because of if you want to go to the final level, you have to do all of that. But for the stamps in particular, you had to use them for the Miiverse, or you could use them for the Miiverse if you wanted to, but now the Miiverse is no longer a thing. They're kind of useless, and they're only just there for decoration. But the final level in this entire game is the Champion's Road, or something like that. And it's probably one of the hardest levels in the game. Well, it basically is the hardest level in the game, because A, there are no power-ups, and B, there are no checkpoints. Because in this game, you can basically go to checkpoints, to the halfway point, so you can, once you die, you can go back to the checkpoint. But in this level, once you die, you go back all the way to the beginning to basically start all over again. And if you're going to collect like every stamp, you basically have to beat every single level with every single character. Now, this might not be like a challenge if you've got like friends with you, and they've all chosen one of the 4 characters before you unlock Rosalina. But with Rosalina, it's kind of more of a chore with her, because you basically have to play through the entire game again, but this time it's as a new character. And if you're playing by yourself, I kind of recommend that you get some extra controllers, so you can basically get every single stamp, so you can basically complete the game. So yeah, so for my final verdict for this game is that it is enjoyable. It has some cool things that come out of this game, and yeah, it's like, I wouldn't mind it playing like a couple of times, but it's like not one of those games that's like, oh, I'm gonna play this all the time, or one of those groundbreaking Mario games. It's just an enjoyable game with enjoyable levels and enjoyable power-ups, and it's a really cool game. It's not my personal favourite Mario game of all time, but it's enjoyable and it's nice. It's got cool characters and stuff like that as well. So yeah, that's been my top. No, not top 5. That's been my review for Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.